What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and this is gonna be a review of Celica's Legendary Banner, which we're getting on Wednesday. And Celica was gonna be appearing as a Legendary Hero sooner or later because of how incredibly popular she is, and the fact that Alm also is a Legendary Hero with his Conqueror class, which is an overclass. So Celica is also here with her overclass in Regain. That outfit is absolutely amazing, so I'm really glad that they're giving some kind of attention to these overclasses of the Shadows of Valentia units. So she is a green infantry mage, and she is a fire pair-up Legendary Hero, just like Legendary Roy. So it's good that they have mixed up her color and she's not red again. She's very similar to Legendary Alm actually, which makes sense because he is her husband. She's got Saintly Seraphim as her legendary weapon, and it gives her +3 speed, and if she initiates combat, then she deals 25% of the damage based on foe's resistance, and it ignores reductions from resistance from special skills like Moonbow and Luna, for example, and Ether as well. So it's same as Legendary Alm's Luna Arc, but here she deals damage based on foe's resistance instead of defense. So this is true damage, and this is really good against super tanks and ether raids, and also against mage tanks who have high resistance, because you're gonna be using their own stat against them. And the best way to survive this is by stacking HP on your unit, because even though she can cut through the resistance, she will not be able to cut through HP. So that's how people deal with Legendary Alm, and that's how you could deal with Legendary Celica, by increasing your HP. She's got Miracle as her special, which makes absolutely no sense. It would have been better if she had Luna or Moonbow, but I guess the only reason she has got Miracle is to make her an annoying unit on the Abyssal map, because she's probably going to be having pre-charged Miracle there so that she can fall into her slot B skills range, and it's likely going to be really hard to double her. So it's just there for annoyance. Miracle is definitely not the special you want to run on her. Moonbow and Luna are much better, even though they are not like Lunar Flash, which almost got. They're still the better specials which you could run. She's got Swiss Sparrow 3 as her special, and Soul of Zofia as an exclusive skill. This skill is both Null Follow-Up and Desperation together, so it's incredibly powerful, and it's kind of insane how these two skills, which are so popular and so much used on a lot of builds, just combine to become Soul of Zofia. So this is definitely really good for Celica because she's likely going to be having low defense. So entering into Desperation is going to be helping her offensively for surviving longer, and she's going to be pretty fast, so this does make sense. And Null Follow-Up is going to be pretty nice for breaking through weary fighters, stopping quick repose, vengeful fighters, stuff like that. Her slotty skill is Attack Speed Oath, which is pretty good for self-sufficiency. And these are the stats which I'm expecting on Legendary Celica. They're going to be pretty similar to Legendary Alm. That's the basic trend we have been seeing on her base kit so far. So it's not really hard to think that she's going to be pretty similar stat-wise as well. I do think she's going to be having more resistance than Alm, obviously. And she's going to be having low defense. Celica is really powerful mage, extremely powerful nuke. Legendary Celica is not really going to be as good as Legendary Alm because Alm is colorless, and that adds to his nuking potential. He's not really bothered by any kind of weapon strangler disadvantage like Celica. And Raven Tomes and stacking HP is basically how you could tank a Legendary Alm. But with Celica, she's going to be facing that weapon strangler disadvantage against red units. So that is going to be annoying. But overall, these are just two very powerful nukes. Alm being a bit better. Both of these are pretty frail, but they shine as offensive units and nukes. So you're definitely going to be seeing a lot of Legendary Celica in ether raids. Probably in like the light season, it's not really all that bad, because even though everyone is going to be stacking resistance with double air, she can still cut through resistance. So it's a bit better for her as a mage compared to other mages in the light season. And Legendary Alm, we all know he is pretty popular in ether raids. But the only thing is that, which could be annoying for some people, is that she's a Legendary Hero, so you cannot really bless her with the defensive Mythic Blessings. So a lot of people do run two defensive Mythic Heroes with other units who are either blessed by Dark or Anima Blessing. So you cannot really do that with Celica or Legendary Alm. So that's the thing which might dissuade some people from using them in their ether raids defense. But overall, gonna be really powerful nuke. Even though we don't really clearly know her stats, you can still tell based on her role how good she could be, and she's definitely going to be really powerful. She's going to be taking out this blue bow guy as well, and Alm is here to cheer her on, but Alm is not on this banner, which is kind of weird. So let's talk about some other units from this banner. We have got Legendary Ike here. Legendary Ike definitely faces so much competition being a red infantry unit, and even in this banner itself from Legendary Roy. But still, having 4-turn Radiant Ether is definitely pretty good. You could run a Thanos-like build with Special Spiral on his slot B and Quick Repose as a Sacred Seal, so he could instantly retaliate back with Ether. So that's definitely a build I like on him, but that's pretty expensive. And his low resistance can definitely pull him back a lot of times. And distant counter weapons have got power crept over the time with someone like Altina or Legendary Roy. But still, even in that case, he does have that niche with 4-turn Radiant Ether. But that's pretty much it. As for fodder, he has got Warding Breath. He's the only unit who has got that, and I definitely value that a lot. So he's pretty good for fodder, and even as a unit, he's decent. I do use him a lot in my free-to-play guides, but outside of that, as a unit, he definitely faces a lot of competition. And the next unit we have is Legendary Grima. So she's a colorless flying dragon. Can be pretty useful as a tank in ether raids in the light season where you could increase her resistance. Being colorless and having dragon skin which can nullify the flying weakness is definitely really advantageous for her. But the problem which arises on her is that she doesn't really have as much attack or as much bulk as the usual dragons. So there she could struggle a bit. As for fodder, she has absolutely nothing of value to offer now. Because Bronya does have Red Smoke at 4-star, and Bronya can be obtained from the Grail shop eventually. Overall a pretty good unit, but really underwhelming as a fodder. And then we've got Hrid. If any kind of penalty or debuff is present on the foe, then he can activate his sword, which is not really all that hard because shield skills are present as Sacred Seals, and he also has Freezing Seal. So if any kind of debuff or penalty is present on the foe, then he can make a follow-up attack, and the enemy cannot. So that makes him a pretty good Gale Force unit, I guess, because he doesn't really care about his speed for the doubles. But still, as a Gale Force unit, he does face competition from someone like normal Eliwood, which is easily mergeable and easy to get. And also Navarre, I guess, for a red Gale Forcer. But he can also work as a tank in the enemy phase because he can stop the follow-up attacks of the enemy, so that is extremely useful. He already comes with distant counter on his base kit. And Freezing Seal is a pretty good method to activate his sword and also provide some support to your teammates. Overall, a decent Cavalier. And as for fodder, he does provide distant counter, so that is definitely pretty useful. But he doesn't really have any kind of other additional skill for fodder with distant counter. Kind of like Legendary Hector, who can provide Vengeful Fighter. And Sothis, Nagi, and Valentine I can provide Special Fighter along with distant counter. Nyla can provide Null Counter Disrupt with that. So in that regard, he kind of does lose in terms of fodder compared to those units, but still, distant counter on its own is a good skill. Then we've got Air. So Air is a free unit, and everyone has her. You don't really need to pull for a second Air if you do want to reach like tier 27 even as a free-to-play player, because Peony is a light mythic hero which has been given out as free. But Peony does not increase the resistance. So if you are about that super tank game in ether raids, and if you want to stack up resistance, then double Air is definitely going to be needed. And Air is one of the better mythic heroes that we have in the game. Lifiaberg is pretty good, giving her the Swift Sparrow if she's above 50% health. And Mystic Boost is obviously pretty good for dealing with dragons. And she does have Sparkling Boost as well, which is really, really good with super tanks and ether raids because you're going to be getting that constant healing on that tank. And Mystic Boost as a fodder is really valuable for your range units if you do not want them to be vulnerable to adaptive damage from dragons. And even if you don't really care about adaptive damage, then Mystic Boost does provide that self-healing, which can be really good for many of the units. And as a unit, she is really good, and we have used her for a year now. Then we have got Legendary Roy. Personally, he's my favorite infantry sword units from the crowd, because of the fact that he has got distant counter on his weapon, and it's also effective on dragon units. So I can use him as a Vantage Sweeper in ether raids whenever there's fire season. And the fact that he comes with bonus Doubler and Human Virtue is even better. But yeah, in general, when it comes to infantry sword units, he's one of the better ones because of his merits. Not only he can be a really good offensive unit, but he can also provide a bit of support with Human Virtue as long as you're a human being. And that's pretty good about him. He's often going to be compared to Legendary Marth, who can also function similarly if he runs distant counter, because he's got bonus doubler in his weapon, and he also has Fire Emblem as a special and Binding Shield, which is good against dragons. But still, Roy does have a bit more resistance than him, which can be helpful in tanking. And Roy is just cheaper to build because he already has bonus doubler and distant counter in his weapon. Bonus doubler is also good as a fodder, but usually it's going to be a toss-up between if you want to run distant counter or close counter on your unit, or have bonus doubler. Mostly bonus doubler is used on the units who already have a distant counter weapon, or maybe something like lightning breath, so it's usually seen there. So it is a pretty good skill, but you do have to watch out for panic. And the next unit we have is Naga. Naga is oh god, Naga is probably the worst offensive mythic hero that we have got. She is constantly being a liability. She's not really as good as Altina or Eir offensively, and she cannot really provide the level of support as Peony as an offensive mythic hero. So Naga is constantly being a liability in Aether Raid's offense, and it can be hard with her. She does provide the defense though, so it can be useful for super tanks. So there you have a reason to use Naga over Altina if you do want to use a super tank and increase your defense. She provides Divine Fang support, which is going to be useful when you're going to be facing Dumas, because Anima Season always coincides with Astra Season. But still, like, Duma is not really the hardest unit to take out, even without Divine Fang support. So mainly she's just going to be used as a buff bot with tactic skills, stuff like that, or just as a debuff bot with double chill skills. And that's pretty much it, what she can do to support. And after Thrasir being released, she has got even worse now, because Thrasir absolutely cobbles up Naga, because she does have a dragon effective weapon and she's also green, so there's absolutely no chance for Naga. And Thrasir is extremely common unit which you're going to be seeing in Aether Raid's defense teams, so Naga can be even bigger liability. So not the greatest unit in Aether Raids, but she does provide that defense, and if you need that defense then there's really no other option right now. So you have to use her, I guess, and she doesn't have anything for fodder. Aether Raid's offense skill is just laughable at this point. Chill speed is available on Pain, and then we have got Edelgard. So she's one of the better axe infantry units that we have got. Victorious Axe is really good. Not only it gives her -1 special cooldown, but it also works like Legendary Ephraim's weapon, where she can double if there are more foes present in 2 spaces than allies. And you can definitely use her as a Gale Force unit because of that. She will have 4-turn Gale Force, so all you need to do is run Heavy Blade on her slot A, and that's pretty much it. You don't even need to run Heavy Blade on her Sacred Seal because she already has a lot of attack. So she can be used as a Gale Force unit pretty effectively, and she's extremely stocky defensively, and even more with attack defense solo and rouse attack defense. So she can be really powerful and really defensive just with her base kit. She does have really low resistance, so that's definitely a weakness, but overall she's pretty good. She can double in both phases with her axe. If you meet the condition, she can act as a Gale Force unit, and she is pretty stocky defensively. She can provide attack defense solo as a fodder. Couple of units do already have that, and she can also provide rouse attack defense. Not really the most desirable skills, but still, she's the only one other than Marita who has got rouse attack defense. So if you want that for the self-sufficiency, then you could definitely get it. And attack defense solo is also not a skill which is easily available, but it's a shame that you cannot inherit both of the slot A and slot C skill which he has got at the same time. Then we have got Dimitri. So the trio from 3 houses is on this banner, which is pretty good. Dimitri is pretty similar to Legendary Ephraim, but Dimitri can be blessed and Legendary Ephraim cannot. So that gives Dimitri a bit of an edge in Aether Raids where you could use him whenever you want. But with Ephraim, you have to use him in Fire Season. And his Noble Lance can give him guaranteed follow-up attack if both him and the foe are present at full HP, or if they are both not at full HP. So just have to keep that in mind, and you could kind of work around it with stuff like running Savage Blow on him so that after the first combat, he can trigger the weapon's effect. So that could be done. And as a fodder, he is probably the best unit because you could inherit Death Blow 4 and lull attack defense at the same time. So I love that. Dimitri does have good attack. He already has 36 base attack and effectively has 19 might weapon with Death Blow 4. So he can hit really hard, be a good offensive unit, and he can double with his Noble Lance in both phases. So he can also act as a tank. And low resistance is going to be making him susceptible against dragons and mages. And then we have got Claude. Claude is definitely a pretty good bow cavalier, but recently Legendary Leaf kind of blows him out of the water. Now he's not really as fast as Claude, but Legendary Leaf is absolutely incredible as a hit and run unit because of his special, and he does have more attack than Claude, so he can also function as an enemy phase close counter vantage unit because his weapon does have the brave effect even in the enemy phase. And Legendary Leaf kind of does that to most of the bow cavaliers, but still, Claude is one of the better ones. Cunning Bow is pretty easy to trigger because you just need to make sure that the total bonuses on Claude and the total penalties on the enemy is greater or equal to 10, which is not really all that hard to do, honestly. And if that condition meets, then he's able to inflict -5 debuff to all stats of the enemy during the combat, and he already has a lull skill, so it stacks up with that and can stack up with any kind of additional visible debuffs which you're going to be having on the enemies. So with that, he can definitely be pretty powerful offensively. As for Frauder, he provides a singular lull skill. Compared to Dimitri, he can also provide Death Blow 4. And I believe that Dimitri's lull skill is a bit more universally useful because it has got the lull attack. And neutralizing someone's attack buffs is going to be universally useful compared to something like speed. So yeah, I think Dimitri's lull skill is better, and he's just a bit better as a fodder. And then we've got Thrasir, who's an Anima mythic hero who is used in Aether Raid's defense, and she is pretty good on Aether Raid's defense teams because she can be really fast, and she also has a weapon which is effective on dragon units. Killing Intent is definitely really potent with the shrine structures which anyone could build up. And shield skills are also there as Sacred Seals, so they can be easily equipped on your defense teams. So you can easily trigger Killing Intent on many units. Panic Smoke is also incredibly useful because everyone and their mom uses visible buffs in Aether Raid's offense teams. Her weapon is also really powerful. Not only it's effective on dragons, but if she's within 3 spaces of any kind of ally, then she can get +4 to all of her stats and also disable skills on enemy which guarantee follow-up attacks. But it does give -4 debuff to all stats of the nearby ally, which can be annoying, but usually it's not really all that big of a deal. And if you do use her outside of Aether Raids, you're probably going to be using her with a couple of dancers, and debuffs on dancers are not going to be that much annoying. And as for fodder, she has got Flashing Blade 4, which is a tier 4 skill, and also Panic Smoke, which is an incredibly potent skill. So she's also up there with Dimitri for the best fodder on this banner, but I think Dimitri's a bit better because Death Blow can be used by anyone. Flashing Blade cannot be used by anyone. You need to have the speed for that. But still, you could inherit both Flashing Blade 4 and Panic Smoke 3 with the help of Summer Ilger. So that's really good. And the last unit we have on this banner is Peony, the recent unit which we got for free from Book 4. Peony is just incredible as a support unit and is so good in Aether Raid's offense and in general as a dancer. If you do not have Legendary Azura, then she's pretty close up there with the support. She doesn't really give you the +1 movement like her, or can buff up all of the stats of yours, but she can provide more movement options with Gentle Dream, and also provide attack and speed support with her weapon if they're going to be in the cardinal direction of hers. So that way, like, she's incredible. I have used her in Light Season. I've actually pulled 2 Peonies, and pulling 2 Peonies is so good with any kind of hit and run strat, or with a Gale Force strat, or even with Vantage strategy actually, but it does kind of depend on what kind of Vantage unit you're using. So just really incredible support unit. She does provide Fortify Resistance as a tier 4 skill which you could inherit, and that's definitely going to be useful for arena scoring, but it's not really as useful as Hone Attack 4 or Hone Speed 4, I guess. But still, it's something, and you could inherit Blue Dual Flying and Fortify Resistance at the same time. But like, dual skills are not really all that good anymore because the BST has increased. So with someone like Sigrun, who has been given out as free, you could still reach 170 BST with just the merge, and you don't really need Blue Dual Flying for that. And that is going to be the banner. The green color is absolutely stacked with Thrasir, Edelgard, and also Legendary Celica. Red color is also good with Legendary Roy, having bonus doubler, Hrid with Distant Counter, and also Ike having Warning Breath. This banner has got 3 offensive mythic heroes in Naga, Peony, and Air, and also 1 defensive mythic hero with Thrasir. So absolutely stacked on the green color. So let me know if you're going to be pulling on this banner or not. And if you enjoyed this video, then please be sure to leave a like. It is going to be helping me tremendously. And if you haven't already, then make sure to subscribe for more Fire Emblem Heroes content and also 3 Houses content. I'm doing Black Eagle's route right now. And please be sure to hit the notification bell and click on all so that you can always get the updates to my videos whenever I upload. Because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as your resistance when you're going to be facing Legendary Celica. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.